going on, BG family? It's your backyard gardener, and today I'm giving you 7 steps for preparing your garden for winter. So as you know, I am in Michigan, Zone 6B, and with that being said, my summer has come to an end. We are into fall, and I don't know how much fall we're going to have, but I have to start shutting down the garden. So the first tip that I have is to clean up. You got to clean your garden up. If you don't have a clean garden, you're not going to want to be in it unless you just, like it to be rustic looking. But for me, being in the city, I just feel like the cleaner my garden is, and after I start to clean up and get all the debris out of the way and break down everything, check my tools, make sure everything is good, I just feel better about my growing season. Number 2 is removing plant debris. So once you've harvested all your plants, you really don't want to leave your leaves and your plant roots, in your flower beds or your containers, or even in the ground for that. And discard them. If you had some blight issues, then you want to burn them or bag them up and get rid of them. So right here you can see where I did the comfrey drop on a lot of my plants, the chop and drop. I'm through with this bed. I've chopped and dropped all my materials in it. It's ready to rest. Over here is my asparagus bed. I couldn't get to this bed during the summer because when I grew my watermelon vine out, it was hard for me to get over here. So I had to pull all those weeds out, prep this bed. I'm going to get some comfrey in here, chop it, drop it, and let that asparagus bed go to rest. Over here I am growing my fall garden, so these beds will keep going. I have my spinach, I have my sugar snaps, and I have my dwarf kale going. A couple of my plants are still going, like for example my okra is still going and doing well. Over here where I had my straight A cucumbers, I am preparing this garden for rest. A bunch of comfrey is in there. Through those big tubes, I'll be feeding worm castings. I mean, not worm casting, but table scraps for the worms, so that they can eat it and do their castings, spread them out into my bed for the next season. Number 3, you want to mulch, and that's what that is. Basically mulch. Once the leaves start to fall from the trees, I will take those leaves and I will put them over in my bed and let them break down over the winter. So that's pretty much what I do with all my container beds. I take that comfrey over there, I chop it down, and I get it ready for mulching. The 4th thing that I do is I think about, it's more than just preparing my beds for winter and cleaning up and mulching. I also have to check my tools that I use. I have to make sure that I didn't break any. If I did, I have to make sure that I replace it before the next growing season. Also, I have to check my irrigation system. Alright, so everybody know I'm in Michigan Zone 6B. We get those really cold winters. Last winter we got the polar vortex. So I want to make sure that I bring out my air compressor. I disconnect these lines and I blow that hole right here all the way out, that underground irrigation system, because it's only like 7 to 8 inches down, and that's still in the freeze line. And I blow out all those tubes across there. So that's another thing that I need to do in the garden is clear out my irrigation system and make sure all my tools are inspected and ready for the next growing season. Number 5, inspect, repair, and clean your garden tools. We just said that. Basically, it's important that you keep up with your garden tools, especially your favorite garden tools, because when the summer comes, when spring comes around again, a lot of us will have to cultivate our soils, turn them over, put our amendments in, our nutrients. So we want to make sure that all our tools is in good working order. Also, looking at your garden supply, number 6. If I did break a shovel or any of my tools, a hoe, I want to make sure that I got that on my list so that over the winter or first of spring, I'm prepared to buy another one. I want to do inventory on my fertilizers. What all did I use? What didn't I use? If I used a bunch of fertilizers and the fertilizers is ran out, then I'm going to need to get some more. If I still got a lot of blood meal and bone meal, I don't need to get happy come spring and forget what I have and go out and buy something that I really don't need. So that's where inspecting your tools are coming in. Number 7, plan your garden for the next year. Now this is the fun part. You know what you grow this year. You know what worked well. You know what didn't. You've even learned some new things that you might want to grow next year by looking at other channels. So plan your garden out for next year. I know for me that I want to try to do my Beauregard sweet potatoes in a raised bed next year. To see the production, if I get a better production. I don't know what I'm going to get this year on them, but I think a raised bed would be better. Also, let's see. I got to build more raised beds for next year. Over there on the other side of the garden, I want to put another raised bed over there. I'm thinking about getting rid of my asparagus bed and just planting something else there. It seemed like it's not worth it. But those are my 7 tips that I have for shutting down my garden for the growing season. As you can see, all the figs are gone. The tent is gone. I've already shut it down. Tonight we're getting down to 46. So what I did was I took all my figs and I put them inside the greenhouse. Right in there. Every single fig tree. They're nice and warm in here. I got some circulation of air going back there. Everything just got a good watering so they don't dry out too fast. But yeah, everything has been put in the greenhouse as far as my figs, because I'm not ready for any type of frost to hit them or to start going into the dormant stage just yet. I still got figs that need to ripen. And this is how I do it in Michigan. So that's pretty much it. As you can see, the garden has been cleaned up. Everything has been put away for the most part. That other bed that I'm building is because I want to take these strawberries and put them over in a raised bed. I'm really not filling that container too much, so I'm going to do something different. And that's what I decided to do. So anyway, this is your backyard gardener saying it's time to prepare for shutting down the garden. If you are in the north or if you're in 6B, you got to think about it. And if you're not, you'll soon be thinking about that as well. Happy gardening, everybody.